Hey there folks, so we have a very exciting video for you today. We finally have an overview and comparison of our HL15 Beast and our HL15 2.0. So this is a 5U storage monster built from your feedback, bigger chassis for bigger motherboards, bigger GPUs. We added an 8-bay SSD caddy so you can have a much larger workflow, and I'll show you what changed, why it matters, and which configuration might suit you best between these and between the options available on the Beast. Hey there folks, Zack Perry back here with 45 Home Lab. Our best-selling HL15 got a big brother. So that's the HL15 Beast. It keeps what made the HL15 great: direct wired backplanes, North American build, quality with 16 gauge cold rolled steel, and easy serviceability, but stretches the chassis to unlock serious CPU, memory, GPU, and cooling headroom. So in this video, we're gonna go through an overview of the HL15 Beast chassis, a deep dive into the ASRock EPYC versus Asus ProArt platforms inside of the Beast, and the real difference between the Beast and the HL15 2.0, workflows that take advantage of the Beast space, SSD tier, and GPU clearance. And before we dive into everything, I just want to say thank you to everybody in the forums, our comments, emails, everything, who helped with the feedback on this. We couldn't have done it without you, so thank you again. And one other thing, almost 90% of you aren't subscribed yet, so if you're enjoying the content, hit subscribe, turn on the bell. It really helps us stay connected with the Home Lab community, understand what you want to see, and keep improving our videos. Plus, it helps us meet more people just like you. And without further ado, let's get into it. First thing, what is the Beast? Besides being bigger, longer than the 2.0 here, it's the natural evolution of the 15-bay platform, designed for users who wanted more expansion, more airflow, and more power delivery. So let's get into the chassis highlights. So again, 5U steel, larger than the HL15 2.0, 4U design drive, so it has 15 drive bays, and it also has 8 2.5 SATA SSDs, direct wired backplanes, toolless, so no tools, anything like that required. Cooling, large Noctua NF A14 fans, and a removable dust filter, supports up to E-ATX motherboards. The GPU clearance is up to 16 inches, perfect for a Zotac RTX 5090 or any workstation class cards. Corsair RMX 1000 modular power supply, same that's in the 2.0, built with screws, not rivets, fully serviceable, designed and manufactured in North America. Now, different front plate graphics are available. The Beast front plate, classic HL15 front plate graphics, minimalist graphics. Now, next, let's jump into the Asus ProArt X870E versus the Asus ROM motherboard here. So you have two very different workflows that come in mind when you're gonna choose between these two. So you have the Asus ProArt X870E Creator Wi-Fi motherboard and that ROM ED8-T2T. My goodness, this is gonna be rough. But so I'll get Joe here to toss up a graph kind of doing the comparison between them all here, because you do not want to see me stumble through all of these. But let's go over some of the highlights here. So just to read off a few, so our Creator Wi-Fi board, the ProArt, you can do up to 256 gigs of memory on it. On the ROM, on the ASRock rack board, you can do 1 terabyte plus. You have PCIe 5 and 4 on your ProArt and 4.0 only on the ASRock. You have 10 gig plus 2.5 gig, Wi-Fi 7 and Bluetooth 5.4 on the ProArt, and you have dual Intel 10 gigs and dedicated IPMI, so that out-of-band management, which is great for servicing the system there. Now, when it comes to RAM, I mentioned the amount that you can put in there, but the memory on the ProArt is DDR5 UDIMMs, ECC or non-EC dual channel, and DDR4 ECC RDIMM or LRDIMM 8 channel on the ASRock. There is also, when it comes to CPU, so AM5, so Ryzen 7000, 8, and 9000 ProArt, and ASRock, its chip is an SP3, so 7002, 7003. So for HBA, you'll notice something a little bit different. So on the ProArt, we have the 9305-24i, and on the ASRock, we have an LSI 9400 16i. Now, the reason for that is just with the amount of PCIe slots, the amount of SATA connections that are on the motherboard compared to the two there to accommodate for that SSD tier of hard drives. That is because the ProArt has 4 onboard SATAs, while the ASRock has 10 SATA plus 2 mini SAS HD and 2 Oculink ports. So these are going to have very different sort of use cases here. Now, ProArt is really meant for creators, gamers, editors, anybody in sort of those creative spaces, anything like that that needs PCIe 5, needs that kind of performance. Now, the ASRock, on the other hand, is classic. It's great for homelabbers, so if you need to do a Proxmox setup, any self-hosting, things like that, you need a ton of memory, you need quite a few PCIe lanes, you need a lot of RAM. That is where this is going to come in, but they both benefit from that SSD tier, larger CPUs, and that added headroom for GPUs and up to an E-ATX motherboard. That leads naturally to, so we know the two variants that we have of the HL15 Beast. What about the differences, the main ones? And we kind of touched on them a little bit between the 2.0 and the Beast itself. So big ones, ATX on the 2.0, E-ATX on the Beast. Cooling, so 120 millimeter PWM fans on the 2.0, 140 millimeter on the Beast. The noise is a little bit different, so it is 42 to 44 decibels on the 2.0, 59 to 62 decibels on the Beast, standing from 1 foot away. So if you need a more compact system, you only have a need for 15 drives, let's say, this is still a fantastic piece of kit. I mean, it's going to do everything you need. It's really when you need that added GPU space, larger CPU, that you're going to want to look at the Beast there. And lastly, let's talk about some real-world workflows that use the Beast's strengths. So GPU accelerated workstation, AI rig, so you can combine the Ryzen 9 7950X and let's say an RTX 5090 for local AI training, stable diffusion, Blender rendering, and those 8 SSDs provide scratch disk performance that rivals dedicated workstations. Next, it can do virtualization, storage node with that EPYC build on the ROM ED8. Man, I gotta come up with acronyms for them. All of that RAM, the dual 10 gigs, so it's ideal for Proxmox, ZFS. You can dedicate SSDs for VM metadata, GPU pass-through for the compute, and of course, gaming, streaming, and editing hybrid. So that's where the ProArt board comes in. So you can play and code, edit on the same machine with that PCIe 5, those lanes, DDR5, the GPU, all of that good stuff, and that SSD tier to capture the editing, or capture video for editing while you're doing all of your other stuff there. And AI plus NVR hybrid, so you can do either the EPYC or the ProArt board. So that is going to be great for things like if you're utilizing Frigate, you need AI detection for things like cars, animals, what have you, facial detection. That is where you're going to have a great time with a full-length GPU, all that CPU, and it is going to just use that, go through that kind of workflow like butter. Then you have AI plus NVR, so video recording, that can be either the EPYC or the Ryzen build. So the Beast's cooling and GPU clearance let you run full-length GPUs for object detections or multi-camera Frigate setups with headroom to spare. And then lastly, one that's really popular in home labs is multi-role media server. So you can host Plex, game servers, Nextcloud, development VMs, pretty much everything there. So I mentioned a lot of use cases that are kind of one-offs there. You can combine all of these into the Beast, into the 2.0, but you can do a lot more when it comes to, and I'm saying this ad nauseum here, when it comes to bigger CPU, better cooling, full GPU clearance when it comes to the Beast. So in closing, the HL15 Beast is what happens when you take community feedback and remove every limitation. Whether you're running ZFS pool, editing in DaVinci Resolve, experimenting with AI, the Beast gives you that size, airflow, flexibility, do it all in one single namespace, in one just beastly box here. And just to make one note there, so we have financing available in Canada for the last little while, but now we've extended that to the US, so you can build your dream setup without compromise. What would you do with a fully kitted out HL15 Beast? Let us know in the comments below. Hit like, subscribe, check out store.45homelab.com to see everything we have on offer. Links to the Beast, the forum, our socials, in the description below. I'm Zack Perry. See y'all in the next one.